and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the Queer Tarot. This is an inclusive deck with a guidebook by Ashley Molesso and Chess Needham. I've seen this on the internet for quite a while now and I really fancied getting myself a copy, and so I did via Amazon, and the prices were really fair. This comes in a magnetic closed box. It's done by RP Studio. So it looks really good on display as well with the box. Basically, it explains on the box here that tarot is about more than divination. It's a powerful tool for self-discovery, self-love. In the Queer Tarot, the authors and artists, Ash and Chess, they've created an inclusive, joyful interpretation of the cards to help you on your journey. This deck was made with all queers in mind, all identities, body types, races, ethnicities, abilities and sexualities all feature. And there's a beautiful sort of recognition of the LGBTQ plus sort of community with symbols and stories and interpretations of the classic cards in this deck. So we will have a look now. As you can see, the packaging is very colourful inside, and here it is. It's rather psychedelic, is the guidebook, and then inside the packaging is this box. So the box itself can come out, so this can just be put away as packaging, if you will. I'll pop that in the back so you can see what we're looking at. And there is a separate box of the tarot. I really like this because you can pop this away if you want to, have that on display or whatever, however you want to do it. We'll have a look at the cards in a moment though. So the guidebook, very colourful, as you can see, lots of rainbows and psychedelia here. Very colourful. The contents there explained as an introduction. It explains how queerness is related to the tarot somehow. The artwork, information on that, how to handle the cards, how to shuffle the cards, how to choose a spread, some information on intuition, information about the deck, and then you've got the card meanings, and they've put it in, they've put it in colours here of the major arcana, the minor arcana, and it's split into wands, cups, swords and pentacles, so it uses the traditional suits. And then there are some model credits and card art descriptions, acknowledgements and resources in the back. So you can you can see here how colourful this guidebook is, and you can see the information's really detailed, and it gives you some really good information on the different spreads you could use. I'm going to have a go at some of these spreads later on. And then the card meanings you have here for the Fool. There isn't the picture of the card, but there is a full explanation of the meaning of the card with the reverse explanation and things you can consider. And that goes right throughout the major arcana. And then it goes to the minor arcana in wands. And the same goes here. You have a page for each card, ace of wands, two of wands, and so on. So there's lots of information there on all the cards. So it's a great book, great guidebook, especially for beginners, and obviously of all levels and abilities of readers. And then it gives you some information on the models here and who was involved in the photography in the actual deck, and then some resources at the end. So a really nice guidebook comes with this deck. I'll pop that to one side. And then here we have a separate tuck box. This is just a cardboard tuck box. These cards were originally wrapped in cellophane. I have taken them out, but they are still in order. So you see really bright and colourful on the inside. Lovely packaging there. I'll pop that to one side as well. The cards themselves are super psychedelic and bright. I love the geometric patterns. I love the colours. There is no edging on this. I just feel like it could have done with like a silver sort of shimmery edging, but hey ho. I mean, for the price that I paid, which was about £14 on Amazon, this is really good. It feels like an indie deck, but obviously mass market. And it is reversible. So we'll have a look now at the cards themselves. They are a standard tarot size, I do believe. Let me just grab another card of mine. Nope, they are slightly bigger than the standard tarot size, just slightly. So, slightly bigger. Every card is borderless, as you can see, very colourful, and all labelled and numbered really clearly. So the numbers are at the top and the labels at the bottom, but they're borderless and they're very pretty, very colourful cards. I really love this, especially with the rainbows. I have a real thing about rainbows. So this deck definitely suits me to the ground. I do love the little imagery, that even the knapsack here, it looks like it's got flowers on it, but I also can kind of see eyes and a nose there. Everything's really cutesy, very 60s vibe to it, maybe 70s there even. The dog looks happy. Everyone looks really happy and joyous. So it's a very positive deck. And then we've got the Magician here. And straight away you can see the differences in the characters and the models used. You can see all the elements on the table there and the flowers around the top. Beautifully bright and bold. The High Priestess. So we've got all ethnicities, as it explained, covered, which I really like. And the High Priestess is in full colour here. She's absolutely gorgeous. I love the patterns on the dress. I just think it's really nice. And I love almost, the chest sort of checkered board flooring there. Really bright, bold and colourful. Then we've got the Empress. Again, female, male, up to you. There are no genders, if you will, or stereotypes. It's all done away with, and it's really inclusive, and I love that. I just adore the bright, bold colours. It's just such a radiant deck. Here we have the Emperor. Lots of fire there in the background. Sat on his throne with very multicoloured pants. Really cool card. And then we have the Hierophant. This is a card that a lot of people find really difficult to sort of work out the meaning for, but it's meant to be like tradition and culture and society, if you will, and that's sort of almost a link to religion there. But I love how bright, bold and colourful they've made this, and they've made it really sort of textural as well. It's really nicely done. That sort of teacher card, the followers there. Then we've got the Lovers. Really cute. Really lovely. At first I thought this was a path going to the background, then I couldn't be sure if it was a pink mountain. I'm still not entirely sure. It depends on your viewpoint. The Chariot. I adore this card. I think it's beautiful. Strength. As always, the lion is there. I love this rainbow in the background and that sort of tickling of the lion's mane. Just totally tolerant and relaxed and strong. And then we have the Hermit. And the Hermit's usually this old man who's carrying a lamp, who looks very forlorn, whereas this woman here looks bright, bold, confident, but carrying her own lamp. You know, that I'm happy to be on my own energy. I love it. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is just all manner of bright and bold. I love it. And Justice, carrying the scales there, sat with the Sword of Intelligence. I really like this card. Hanged Man, as always, I'll just shuffle him around. Looks quite content, just hanging there in suspense. Pink socks on, love it. Death is wearing a baseball cap. Death is wearing a baseball cap and pants with strawberries on. Love this. Carrying a flag, and I almost expected this to be like the pride flag, but obviously we got that traditional rose there. So Temperance, the balance. I love, again, the checkerboard dress. It almost matches the card backs, if you will. I really like how they've used this backing of the pink with the stars, the mountains with the sun, the green fertility there, the water, all the elements there being balanced. And then we've got the Devil, who, crikey, I mean, would you fear this person? I don't think so. Those chains are easily removable, and the card looks quite positive. It's a really nice take on the Devil. And the Tower, a very bright, flamboyant tower. People are falling from it. There is lightning striking it. It is the traditional sort of look to the tower. I do like it, but I do like how it's bright. And then we have the Star. This is one of my favourite tarot cards. And in this deck, it's just stunning. The rainbows, the water, the stars, the bright, bold colours. I love it. And then we have the Moon, which is like the sun with the moon. And we have a dog, or two dogs, sorry, and the Lobster. So there's lots of things going on here. How beautiful is this sun with a child riding in on a unicorn? I mean, what's better than a horse? A unicorn. Everyone should have a unicorn. And then we have Judgment, which I think here we've got them lovely flags coming out the trumpet. We've got everyone with their arms raised. We've got this happy sort of vibe, this contentment. It's really bonny. And then we have the World. And I just think this is such a cool image. That sort of gothic, trendy, but sort of punky, feminine sort of character there, surrounded obviously by the elements, and just this sort of, yeah, I've got this feeling, everything's happy and content. I'm in my underwear, but who cares? It's great. So moving on to the minor arcana, we have the Ace of Wands, and we have the hand, and I love how the nails, I mean, I would never have my nails done like that now, but how the nails are tapered and bright pink, why not? And then we have the Two of Wands. Now, it doesn't say wands on the cards after the numbering. Like, it does say Ace of Wands here for the ace, but that goes and we just have this numbering. And yes, we can see the wands, but some cards might be slightly different to interpret. So I always like it if there is labelling here, but there isn't on this deck. There is, however, lime green pants. And how can you not love lime green pants? And then we've got the 3. Now, this is really difficult to see the numbering on. As you can see, it's in this triangle here. So the 3 of Wands, this waiting. And I mean, there's nothing more he can do other than just wait. I think it's really cleverly drawn. But I did sort of wonder, has he got bare feet or has he got shoes on, or has he got a bit of both? Interesting. Then we've got the 4, which is quite clearly labelled. And we've got that celebration card. And then the 5. Now, the 5 is usually like the really annoying card of quarrels. But here it's like the rainbows and the stars. It doesn't look like a quarrel. It looks more like a party. I rather like it. And then we've got the 6, that pride card, that being proud and, you know, riding on that horseback and just showing you for who you are. And I really love the pink background here. But the 7, how adorable is that? All the stars, and she's bashing through all the options there. And she's just keeping going. And I do love that 7. Then we have the 8. And at first I thought this was a snake, but it's not. It's a rainbow. And the Wands moving really, really quickly. And then we have the 9. Again, slightly difficult to see the number in here, but that constantly ongoing. And that checkerboard, again, look, that card backs featuring there. And then we have the 10, that total overwhelming, carrying too many burdens, and it's very clearly drawn. Followed by the page. I love the blue lipstick. And the Knight, riding a pink horse, or why not? And the Queen. And the Queen, again, feminine, male, who, you know, does it matter? It doesn't. Sunflowers there, because that's the one thing about tarot that I find really interesting. So like the court cards are always sort of female or male, and that's not the case. It's about the actual sort of elements that those cards represent. And then we've got the King of Wands here. And I don't know why, but I sort of have this Bowie feeling in this image. There's just very Bowieism. It's really cool though. Then the Ace of Cups, beautiful pink rainbows and lots of emotion flowing out of that cup. And then the 2, slightly difficult to read the number in there, but you can see the cups clearly. And the shaking of hands, that union, and it's really nice and clearly done. And then we have the 3, which looks like a party again. Got that sort of sisterhood or friendships, really nicely done. But the 4, I really love the way he's got his unhappy t-shirt on, because it's like, yeah, look, I am unhappy. I'm sat under a tree and I'm looking down, but here's a cup coming from a cloud. I really do like that. Then we've got the 5 cups with the rainbows. It's almost like an aura coming out of this character here. And I really like this sort of the grief, but look at the colour. You know, yes, we've got cups up right behind them. Got cups that are falling that they're looking at, that they're focused on, but actually there's so much positive coming out here, so I really like that. And then we've got the 6, that nostalgia, sort of giving the flowers there and sort of walking towards the clouds, if you will, which to me is very significant because this castle's almost in the sky, if you will, really. And it's like thinking back, isn't it? And maybe the clouds, maybe representing, if you will, a heaven or places where people have left and gone to, that you're thinking back to, that nostalgia. And then we've got the 7 of Cups, very, very busy. I'm rather keen on this mushroom. I love how there's just so much going on, and the person's like, wow, what do I choose? And then the 8, which is stunning because we've got the rainbows in the distance here and they're walking towards them rainbows. I really like it. The 9 of Cups, I find it's not totally doing it for me, this card. I mean, the 9 of Cups is sort of the wish card. And yeah, they're sat, but they've got their arms folded. They don't look particularly stunned or happy. So yeah, there's the cups there, but there's no rainbows on this card. Something just doesn't quite feel fully right about this one. Whereas the 10 is perfect. I love the barn in the background. I don't know what it is about American barns, but I think it's like the old McDonald's sort of, yeah, happiness there. And then we've got the Page of Cups, very psychedelic, greens and blues. And the Knight, carrying a cup, riding a horse. Is it a unicorn? I'm not sure. And then we've got the Queen, surrounded by water there, sat with sunflower leggings on. Why not? And the King. And again, size here, they've reflected different sizes and different sort of shapes of people. I like that. The Ace of Swords being psychedelic again, the hand from the clouds. And the 2. Now this one here might be slightly different to work out what the card is if you've just got the number in there, because the swords go out from the card right to the edge and it just looks like some sort of divide. So you have to understand the cards quite well. So for beginners that might be slightly confusing. I do like that there's a rainbow in the background. It's really nicely done. The 3 of Swords is mostly very grief and, you know, upset and that sort of serious, feeling pretty low. Looks pretty nice actually in this. It's not terrifying, you know. Then we've got the 4 of Swords, that card of rest. I really like that. They're almost praying. Then the 5 of Swords. How funky are these boots? I mean, who would not want those boots? It's just such a good card. And then we've got the 5, that sort of moving on. Hang on, say 5. I've missed one somewhere. 4, the 5, the 6, sorry. That moving on into the distance. Looking back, but look, they're moving on to rainbows and stars again. It's really nicely done. And then we've got the 7 with that deception. It almost looks like the circus in the background and running away. Interesting. And the swords have almost got crowns on. Really interesting. Then the 8, that feeling of being trapped, but it's trapped here in sort of clothing as well, if you will, because obviously that's sort of, they've got like suspenders on and they've got the fishnets on, and it almost looks like, do I want to be here? I'm wearing this from choice, and I've got this, you know, I'm trapping myself here. Interesting card. And then we've got the 9, the card of anxiety, and again the t-shirt with all the sad faces on, showing you that. And then the 10, total and constant, just had enough, totally overdone, really clear. And then we've got the Page of Swords, funky outfit there, and the Knight riding a pink horse. There's lots of pink horses in this deck. And the Queen of Swords. Now at first I saw this card and thought it looked like she was sat in the toilet, but no. A throne, holding the sword there with the rainbow, with the clouds and the birds and that sort of thought. I love it. And then the King with this astrological sort of outfit. Really nicely done. And then finally we have the Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and then the 2, which looks like a disco to me here. It really does look like a funky disco. This balancing, but also dancing. Balancing and dancing, very 80s. And then we've got 3. Again, the numbering isn't so obvious here. I mean, I can tell what it is, but some new readers might not. It does look like they're walking on a table of nails, but it's not necessarily that. It's about this teamwork. And then we've got the 4, and they're actually stood on the coins here, like really holding on to what they've got. And the 5, this card is so beautiful. I love that the snow scene's there, but with stars, and they've got that stereotypical stained window. And then we've got the 6, bright, bold and colourful, very fashionable. The giving from one hand, the taking from the other, and the scales. Really nicely perceived. And then we've got the 7, and sort of looking at all what you've done. Really nicely done. And the 8, and I think this is a beautiful way of doing it because you've got the rainbow going over her. She's busy working. I can't quite tell if this is a hammer or something she's speaking into. Oh yeah, hammer and nail. Working on the coins, literally working on the coins as they're moving past. And then we've got the 9, that happiness and that's fulfillment. And then we've got the 10, and you can see sheer joy here. And you can see family, you can see money, you can see the house. It's just really nicely done. And then we've got the Page, all bright and colourful, and the Knight carrying a coin, and the Queen sat on a throne, and the King. It's a really bright, bold, beautiful deck. I can't wait to start using it in my readings. It just feels really joyous, happy and positive. So do you have the Queer Tarot? Is it something you would want to have? Is it something you're now going to be thinking about ordering? It's a very well priced deck. Let me know what you think, and I hope you found this video informative. Thanks for watching.